Welcome to another episode of Moments with Nyengeterai. I'm so excited, and I just want to thank everyone who subscribed and who continue to follow us and share our videos. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. And as you all know, Moments with Nyengeterai is a safe space where we just talk about life lessons, and I truly believe that by talking about these life lessons, we can help someone out there not to give up, to think differently, to re-strategize, and maybe sometimes to just reboot and restart. So today, this afternoon, I'm so excited. I have a beautiful young lady called Leanne, although I prefer to call her Tsepo. So in between, you find me going, Leanne, Tsepo, don't be shocked. It's called Leanne. Leanne, welcome.
Thank you, Nyenge. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited about today's conversation. I know who you are. But please, can you just tell our viewers who you are? Who's Tsepo? What does she do? What does she like? What makes you tick? Just introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Lee-Anne Tsepo, as my entire family knows me. And I'll just tell you a joke about that one. My name is Lee-Anne and Tsepo, and my maiden surname is Hall. So I used to date this guy back in the day, and, he went to tell his parents that I've got this new girlfriend. Her name is Lee-Anne Tsepo Hall. And then they're like, explain, like, no. And she's from Bulawayo. So she speaks Ndebele, and she's Lee-Anne, she's Tsepo. So there's also Sutu in there. And then she's also colored because her dad is colored. So she's also a Hall. And the father said, and bring us problems. And, that's always been my superpower, to be very honest with you. Being English in one way, I get away with things. I feel like I got into Stellenbosch University because people thought this girl is white. So, because I was the only black in my class. So I think they saw the Lee-Anne Hall and they thought, oh, she's white. She can go in. And then my mom is Sutu, very Sutu from both sides of her families, her parents. So that's where the name Tsepo came from. So most people, that is relatives, they prefer calling me Tsepo. But my first name is Leanne. So sometimes relatives don't even know that I have this first name, and when they come, I remember my aunt at my graduation, she couldn't even find my name, and she was asked, who are you here for? And she's like, Tsepo, like there's no one like that, she had to call, say, you're not here. I'm like, no, look for Leanne. So a lot of relatives, so I forgive you for that one, they call me Tsepo.
Oh, nice.
Who is Tsepo? Bulawayo, born and bred in Bulawayo. I did my primary there, but I did my high school in Mashingo at Cal College. I am a wife to a very handsome husband. Well, I think everyone thinks their husband is handsome, or at least they think. I
hope.
A daughter. I know my parents count on me on so many things. I'm a very proud daughter, and I know they're proud of me, even if I have to say it myself. I am a sister. I enjoy being a sister to all my siblings and to my new siblings who are my husband's sisters. And I am an aunt. My sisters and brothers have many children. So I'm a very happy and proud aunt to my nephews and my nieces. I'm a physiotherapist by training. I did my first degree at Stellenbosch University, and then I stumbled upon an MBA.
Stumbled, okay. We're going to get into that one, but anyway.
I stumbled upon an MBA. That was at NUST. So what am I doing now? I am running my businesses with my partner, Belinda. I've maintained the same partner since getting into the business in 2017. She's also a physiotherapist like myself. We have 3 physiotherapy practices now, but however, we've evolved our business into a wellness center.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. Lots of things to unpack there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with, how did you stumble upon an MBA? This story I need to hear.
So you know what? To be very honest with you, I never wanted to go to university. I saw my dad who never went to university, and I thought, oh, he got away with it and he's doing pretty well. Why do I need it? And I was so eager. So the drive in me has always been there since I was young. And I suppose our dad would take us to his workplaces and he would, teach us. I know, my dad had a garage when I was around grade 4, like, mechanics, servicing cars and all. And I knew what to do when a car comes in and the mechanic goes around and I have to write everything. And then he tells me what's wrong. I send out the biker, get 3 quotations. I knew how to do that at grade 4. So I thought, no one really needs school. We can do this, So I didn't want to go to university. I just wanted to get straight into business with my dad. So when I told him this, when I broke it down to him, and that's my final year of high school, to say, listen, guess what? I have good news for you. I thought it was good news for him.
I don't want to go to uni.
Yeah, I'll be right next to you and we can do this thing together. And he said, no, I got lucky. Not everybody gets lucky. And I need you to go to school. When you're done with university, you can come back to me and we can take it from there. So I was very strong in sciences and arts. So I could have gone either route. Yes, but I went science direction. Hence, I ended up a physiotherapist. I didn't want to get into medicine. I felt like, business and medicine, I didn't know how I was going to actually bridge the two. So I went into physio because I felt like it would give me time to do other things. It was less hectic than medicine. So I went into physiotherapy. I enjoyed University of Stellenbosch. I am a very structured person. My brain works in structure. If we say we are leaving for a holiday at 2 p.m. and it's 2:30, I am anxious. I can't even hide how unhappy I am at that stage. So my brain works in a structured way. If one thing just goes off, it can ruin my entire thought process.
Wow.
And it all comes from my parents. They were horrible planners growing up. And I used to think, you two are terrible. I can't work around you.
Child trauma.
So I said, I'm not doing this. So when I went to Stellenbosch, white people, they're structured. I was so grateful. So I fitted in right perfectly. Everyone thought, the racism, this and that, but that was not the case with me. I enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed it. I would not switch universities. I would go back. I would recommend people to go there. So I went to Stellenbosch, came back now. And here's the thing that most people don't know about health professionals. We probably did sciences for our O levels, and then we did sciences for our A levels. So we don't have the commercial background. Most of us don't. I didn't even do accounts at all. So now I'm here, I'm running a business, and big companies are starting to attract big companies. They're starting to say a lot of commercial jargon, and we and when they can tell that you don't know much, they can crook you if they want. They can lower your costs, and you can never really know what they're doing and what they're up to. So that's how I stumbled upon an MBA, because I wasn't meant to be in university in the first place. And for me to get a second degree, that was actually a shocker. I enjoyed an MBA. My classmates, thank God for them, carried me through, because a lot of people that do an MBA have the commercial background. So there was, with no commercial background, just sciences, learning accounts for the first time at the age of 28. Balancing, balancing your accounts, your cash flow, you're doing budgets, and this is at the age of 28. So it was very tough, but my classmates, wherever they are right now, I thank them always, because they never left me behind. They always made it a point to get me through every module, and I passed the first time, and that's how I stumbled upon it.
Wow, that's very interesting and exciting. But you're a Stellies girl, I'm a Cape Town girl, so I'm a UCT girl. So
yes.
There's friction there. I love UCT. I know I'm torn, but I love UCT. So anyway, tell me, you stumbled across an MBA. You had never done any commercial, you were a science student. And you then did your MBA, as you said, your class carried you. Just give me from that aspect, what did it teach you about life? What lessons did you take from your aspect of doing sciences, coming from Stellenbosch, then doing your MBA at NAST one? What did that mean, and what lessons did you learn? And also learning about cash flow numbers at 28 from a science background. What advice would you give people out there who are taking pure sciences or who are thinking, I hate numbers? I mean, I used to be one of those people. So, yeah.
Health sciences, I always feel like, not health sciences, but, our parents boxed us a lot. We had those prestigious professions that our parents tried to push us into, the good old, be a doctor, be an accountant, be an engineer,
Be a lawyer.
So they boxed us. And when I did an MBA, I felt like I had just been given a new lease to life, because I felt like, oh wow, so I have just tapped into a whole new world, and it's amazing. And it's not this science world that can be so boring. And in science we are so locked away, and we're in our practices and locked away, and you only see us when you're sick, for which, I mean, that's not often that you see us, and we don't do much. But people in the commercial world, they are attending all these conferences, trade fair, they're there. When do you really see doctors and physios at trade fair? Harare Agricultural Show, they're there. So we are so, I always say our profession is actually quite boring, because you're sitting the whole day hoping someone could get sick and walk through your door. But then there's also this aspect, this MBA, like, open new doors for me. I feel like when someone does an MBA, they can actually jump ship if they want. You can actually now go and actually apply for a corporate job. I can actually now go and say, oh, Econet, can I come, can I get a job through you? So the two worlds were so different for me, but I feel like this one has more opportunity. So now when you join the two, and that means bringing entrepreneurship into health is hard. We already have so many restrictions. You can't advertise. I can just imagine that if we were allowed to advertise, and every doctor has billboards, would have billboards along every road. So we are not allowed to advertise. We are not allowed to do this. We have so many restrictions, and tell one, net one, everyone's billboards are up there. So we're just tucked away, and we are purely based on word of mouth most of the time. So you're just hoping you give a very great service. Then there's this other world. This is the commercial side, where the world is dog eat dog. Everyone is out there trying to make money, trying to put their brand out there. And for me, that is where I found the gap. That is where I said, okay, how do I bring entrepreneurship into these two worlds? How do I merge them, coming from this one? If I ask you, do you remember that doctor? I'm sure your family doctor, you remember his surgery, and it's probably still there in that one corner. Nothing has probably changed.
It still has the same stickers that he had from way back then.
Doctors, and people in our field don't change much. We don't evolve much. We just know that, oh no, she will come even if my building looks old. As long as she believes in my service, she'll still come. So now bringing new things, this commercial business into this commercial side, or bringing the commercial into health, and redefining what that vision or that picture that people have of physiotherapists, that I have to be in an accident or I stroked, and rather saying, actually, listen, preventative health, I can actually prevent the accident, I can prevent the stroke. And then we started selling these packages to the corporate world now. So you find that our business changed completely from waiting for clients to going into the corporate world. Because now we go into the corporate world, we teach them about how to prevent strokes, heart attacks, etc., how to eat well, how to... So I would definitely encourage other health professionals. I think, to be honest, the best way to go about it is to introduce the module, some business module, into medical degrees. I think we need to take it back to university. Or to, I don't know, but we need to just take it that far back and introduce those modules, those business modules there, because trying to now teach and because I'm thinking about doctors who after 6 years of medicine, then obviously for you to apparently be a better doctor, you have to specialize. So now you have to go into another 4 to 5 years of specialize. So where will you then do the MBA? So we might as well chuck in a module or two into our degree.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that is very interesting and so powerful. And for me, when you were saying that, I just started thinking of a lot of things, like how do we even change? Like, you said something like we are very structured. I mean, you look at the doctor. I mean, when you said think about your doctor, I thought, oh my God, yes, family doctor. Literally, his room is still the same. And as you were saying it, his room was the same when I was young, before I had my kids, and now when I go, it's still the same. So I think what you said that really struck me was that when you started knowing the numbers and bringing in the commercial aspect of it and now going to companies to talk to them. From that, talk to me about how you believe the curricula for school kids should be like.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let me start that by giving you an interesting example. I said before that I went to school with white kids. I was the only black in my class. So in our fourth year, we'd go for practicals. So there's a time where at Grooteskiel, the UCT hospital, and I was attached there for about 5 weeks. So I was paired up with this girl called Mika. And, we would leave so early because Grooteskiel is so far from our campus, and we have to be at the hospital by 7:30. So we'd leave at 6 a.m. so that we make it on time. So you're up, and so I used to get up. I used to eat a lot so that I can get through. And I remember I used to chuck in a lot of sweets and chocolates into my scrub pockets. 10 o'clock, I'm at break having slab chips from the kiosk. 1 o'clock, I'm having lunch, and I still have things chucked into my pockets, and So I used to watch her a lot. And this one lunchtime, she had a carrot. And I said, is that it? Because she didn't eat at 10 when I was busy having my fresh chips. And then she didn't eat all these other snacks I had in between. And I said, is that it? It's like, yes. And I'm like, okay, are you full? Do you really want to lose weight that much? Or do you really want to look good that much? And then she says, no, this is what I know. So she said to me, one thing I've realized about black people is you do not get full unless you see starch.
Wow. Okay, I would have been a bit offended, but okay.
And I took, I thought about it. I'm like, that is so true. For us to say we were full, we saw a bit of starch. And it backdates to when we were young. Do you remember how we were stuffed with porridge? And it has to be a certain amount of porridge. And you are stuffed in the morning at my 11 and around 2. Because, the thing is, the child should really eat, So that is where it all starts. And then we started having the sadza, obviously, the rice,
potatoes.
Yes.
I was actually saying that I remember having a meal where there would be rice, potatoes, and meat. I mean, like starch and
it's quite heavy. And now we're having starch in the morning. That's our bread. So before we leave for school, we get cereal. That's starch. We're packing bread, sandwiches for children. That's starch. We are at break time, lunchtime, they're going to have starch, obviously, because now they're really hungry. When you pick them up, you're going to pass through somewhere. Nando's. pizza in, you're going to buy, and then you're going to come home and carry on having more starch. So that's why you're seeing that the rate of obesity is actually on the rise because we are not monitoring. And now starch is easy to cook. We all know it's faster to make starch than to actually make a healthier meal. And now, you know, we've learned this new thing of popping in everything. I pop in the chicken, the potatoes, everything, the butternut in the oven at one go, and dinner's ready in 45 minutes, and you didn't do much. So how can we help schools? How can we help our children? It actually really needs to start at home. Because even if you say, I'm going to pack fruits for break time, you're having fruits. As long as at home or during the holidays, you're not maintaining that, they just break time, they're just going to ask their friend for the sandwich, or they're actually going to go to the tuck shop and buy it. So it actually, you know, it starts, we have to backdate it. The new parents actually need to start implementing it now. At home. So I went on to ask her, so what's your diet like? Then she said, listen, in the morning I'll have my muesli, high fiber, so my body can digest it well. And then in the afternoon, I just have a vegetable. In the evening, between 5 and 6, I will have my dinner. So a lot of protein and just a bit of starch.
Wow.
So by the time I'm sleeping, my body's actually started already burning the fat. You know, and she says this is how we have it even at home. This is when we have dinner, this is what we eat.
So it becomes like a mindset, it becomes like a habit.
Yes, it's a habit. So no matter what you do, as long as you're not fixing it from home, you can't fix it at school. You know, I was wondering, you know, what happened to the milk? Do you remember the milk packets would get?
Oh, yes, at school. I remember when I was younger at school, we used to get milk packets at break time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
everyone got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all got it, and you know, your parents are sort of forced to pay for it because I mean, you'll be the only child without it.
We won't get,
But then, you know, we were getting in so much more vitamins through that, and we're filling up our stomachs more because milk fills up your stomach. It's just like coffee or tea. When you drink it, you feel a bit full, you know. So it would fill us up very quickly, and we wouldn't really feel that hungry. We didn't eat as much as these kids eat. If you think about it, we didn't eat so much food.
And we were more energetic. We were not always on our tablets as well.
No.
We used to run around and play outside.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So it's a whole lifestyle change, and it starts from parents. It starts from our parents. It starts from, and you know, we would walk to school. We would walk. We would we drive around our kids. We, you know, they're embarrassed to catch a combi. So that's also where we used to actually get a bit of exercise and burn off some of our fat.
You know, you've said something that so pertinent, that it starts from home. But now, how do we start from home if I have grown up? And you know, when, like, I mean, lo and behold, when I was getting married, you'd be told that a good wife feeds their husband really well, you know, so you want to make sure you give him, well, I don't know that you're killing him in the process, but I mean, what do we do with us? I mean, obviously, if it's gonna start from home for my children, it has to start from home with then me and my husband, then, you know. So what do you think needs to be done to reschool us? Because I mean, it's like trying to teach an old dog new tricks.
You know, I've realized one thing. It's one thing to say, Leanne, you need to lose weight. You look big. It's another thing to say, Leanne, here is a scale. Go on it. You are weighing 80 kgs. You need to lose weight. So now I've seen it. I'm like, oh no, how did I get here? Now I will think I need to lose weight. But as long as somebody's telling me and I'm thinking, oh, it's just you always tell me that I've gained weight. You know, we all have those people who say, you've gained weight. You know, like, it's just her. She always says that. But you have to prove it first. So whenever somebody comes to me wanting a weight loss, or whenever we go into the corporate world, we always know that you just don't get there and say, you guys, listen, you need to eat well. You need to put them on scales, put them on their BMI scales, put them on everything, do their waist to hip ratio, which just now that I've mentioned it is a big indicator of diabetes. If you acquiring diabetes in the future, put them on and then give them results. And when they're looking at their results, you start to talk. You start to say, listen, guys, this is what's going on.
But do they listen?
You'll be so shocked. You'll be so shocked, because now what we do, we just don't say you need to eat. We say you need to eat well, because where you are, you're at risk of high blood pressure. You're at risk of diabetes. You're at risk of cholesterol. So when you give people targets and you tell them what they're at risk of, because like you're saying, it's hard. How do you teach an old dog new tricks? But in this case, you're better off telling them where they're headed to. Then they will start. And don't start them up on crazy things like eat salad and chicken. No. I always say just start by reducing quantity. Maintain what you're eating. Start by reducing. Remember, your stomach can actually adjust.
Yes, your portion control.
Yes. Have you heard of those people? I'm sure you've heard of those married women that say, my husband wants salsa in the morning. It's a mindset. Okay, right now, you probably just have to fill up that plate for dinner when he comes back from work, because, he's had such a long day. But think about the one that has to make it in the morning and in the evening. And at work, trust me, that same person is having sadza. And that portion is probably a mountain of sadza. So you actually have to start by reducing. Okay, let's maintain your sadza. But let's reduce it. Let's reduce. And now, statistics are changing worldwide. Our generation, they say by the age of 40, more than 51% of us will have diabetes.
Wow.
So you find that it's no longer hard to convince the younger generation, because they already have a lot of risk factors, and they already have a lot of indicators that are pointing them towards these new deadly diseases. It's no longer HIV. It's no longer. It's cancer is 23, and we make such a big noise. Not that it doesn't kill, but it's 23. We have big killers now. We have big killers, which are lifestyle diseases like high blood pressure, like diabetes.
Wow.
They are in the top 10.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. That's
lifestyle
what's killing
are things that we
now.
can control.
Exactly.
Wow.
And, lucky for us in the wellness, sector, COVID showed that. That was the unhealthy that we couldn't
Then what
fight
do we do?
it.
Tell me, what do we do with, let's say people are big boned. I'm coming from a big boned family. So no matter what I do, I can't lose weight, because there are people like that.
Yeah.
So because I don't know, is it the communication? What is it then? How do you communicate with them to make sure that they understand that it's not being, because I think now there's a difference between thin and healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know, if I'm making sense.
I like that question. I once went to a ZCC conference for work. And, I saw, in the queue, you sort of start saying, oh, that one's weight, I'm sure we have something, either high blood pressure or diabetes, or I don't know, that one is good. Then that's when my mindset changed. That somebody like you can have everything, diabetes, cholesterol, high blood pressure, and somebody that big might not have it. Like you're saying, some people just do have a heavy bone, and, it is what you eat. It is what's actually circulating. Cholesterol, I always give the example of your blood vessels, your tubes, right? So when you're eating all that fat, it's going to accumulate within those tubes. So with time, the tubes get narrower, and now blood does not flow well. So now you've got your heart now is now trying to pump faster because blood is no longer going to where it's supposed to go at the rate it's supposed to go. So now then you get high blood pressure because now you've got this heart that's now pumping faster than it should because your vessels are so blocked, and now blood needs to move through. And it's this lady who's not so big, but it's a lot of fatty things, knowingly that, listen, I've got a high metabolism, I get away with this. And then you've got this lady with who's got big bone, and she actually eats well, so cholesterol levels low, diabetes low, high blood pressure low, because now the increase of diabetes is alluded to an increase in starch in our diet. You see now. So big boned people, it doesn't always translate to their hypertensive, or unless it's the people who are obese in the sense that they eat a lot, And nowadays, technology is fancy. We have a machine at our workplace where we can tell what on your body is fat, what's muscle, what percentage is muscle, what percentage is fat, what percentage is bone, what percentage is visceral, is your blood, is your nerves, is skin, is this and that. So you'd be very shocked that somebody who me and you can look like I have more fat, but you may actually have more
the
fat
one
than
with the cholesterol. And when you say that, I actually remember just some time ago, last year sometime, my mom was told that, your cholesterol, she's tiny.
Yes,
your cholesterol is so high, and you have to go on medication. And I was like, no, ridiculous. How can she be high cholesterol and whatever? But what you just said now, you just opened up a whole new chapter and a whole new avenue. So how do we communicate this message? How do we get, because I promise you, and I think that's the myth out there, where we look at the skinny, slim looking people and we naturally box them to healthy. Yeah. And then we look at the bigger people and we say they're unhealthy. What do we do? How do we communicate?
That one is, it backdates to even the health system itself. We are still, as a nation, or Africans, I think we're still, we wait. I think the word I'm looking for is reactive. We wait to get sick. Then we seek medical.
So we're not preventative.
We are not preventative. And we don't even have those options, even in our public health sector. Right now, there's this wellness drive that we have, for which if somebody really has to choose between rushing home at 4 or coming for a wellness check, they're going to rush home, and so people want to wait for the tooth to rot to go to the dentist. People want to wait till you have palpitations to go to the doctor. People want to wait till you have an increase in urine, for you to go to the doctor. But in other countries, those are things you get even at a public health institution. You can go to Paris and say, listen, I'm here to just do a full body evaluation, and you know exactly where you stand, so you already can start to see that, my weight needs to be controlled, my fat needs to be controlled, my BMI needs to be controlled. But then here it's actually a luxury. I suppose now, the private medical aid companies are starting, they implement iGo. They're trying. We're trying to be preventative, but it has to be a whole movement, and it has to be pushed from the public side sector. Because they don't even people don't even know what that eating starts at 7 a.m. is so bad.
What about at 10 p.m. and then go to bed?
People don't even know, and then you hear, this person just collapsed and died, and shame. It's one of those. There's a lot of those scenarios where someone just collapsed and died, but what was it? And then some people don't even really bother finding out. Let's just be it over, But if we really had to go and check, most of the time it's one of these lifestyle, it's a heart attack or a stroke, or it's a lifestyle
disease.
And
one thing, as you're speaking, I think when we think lifestyle, we always think it's the rich, it's the whatever. But I think a lot of people don't realize. As you were talking, I was actually thinking, when you were like sadza, I'm thinking, yeah, because if we're saying lifestyle, it's not just your upmarket lifestyle or whatever. It starts right from your bottom end and everything. So I think the communication aspect and the relearning and the preventative, yeah, there's a lot of work there. I think there's a lot of work, and this is quite eye-opening. I don't know what we can do, what you believe we can do. I mean, each individual, let's talk to the people who are listening and watching today.
Yeah.
What can they do? Where can they start? Let's say I don't know your wellness center. I live in wherever, I don't know, back and beyond, but I'm watching this on my phone. Where can we start by myself? What can I start doing from today to make sure that I either prevent the lifestyle disease, I do better? What kind of food should I start eating? What kind of portions should I look at? What can I do at home?
Okay. So this is always my go-to. This is where I start. I always say, do a food diary for a week. Just write what you ate, every single thing from the time you woke up. That I woke up and I had this cereal and I ate this, and then I had this lunch, and then I had this dinner. Write everything for a week. Most of the times that diary speaks to you. You realize that, wow, what am I doing to myself? And, break a lot of bad habits. This thing that every meal comes with a drink. So you find that you had your mazoe at 10 with your sandwich at 1, you had your mazoe again at 3, you had we quench our thirst with mazoe, with soft drinks. We have every meal with a drink. It's such an African or Zimbabwean thing. We have to dish that meal with a drink. So those are the habits. Water. Yes, that we can break a few bad habits, decrease the portions. Rather increase on protein and decrease on starch, as opposed to the other way around. Try to add on the veggies. There's now this plate that they've given us to say, on your full plate, half should be veggies, the other quarter should be your protein, and then the other quarter should be your starch. And I'm sure you've heard this before, that your starch should be the size of your fist. So those are the small entry level. Do a food diary, and on your own tell yourself, this is what I'm cutting out. I don't really need that. I don't really need, there's no reason for me to eat cereal, 2 slices of bread and a fruit all in one go at 7 in the morning, and then still repeat breakfast at 10 and still repeat again everything at 10. So I can do away with one of them. Start reducing quantities.
Well, that's really, oh my gosh, very helpful and useful, and I hope people will listen out there. So just before we close, I just want to ask a few fun questions.
Okay.
Move away from the serious stuff. What's your favorite animal and why?
Wow. My favorite animal is an elephant.
Why?
It just looks so majestic. It looks so confident. And I don't know how many times you will take me to a game park. I want to see an elephant. And most people do too. I mean, you can go to Vic Falls and say, I really want to see an elephant. I wish to see one, even Kariba, I always feel like it's so confident, and it's confident in who it is, and it knows that, listen, people are scared of me, and people don't mess with me. I always feel like, there's some people with that personality, those characters that you won't mess with them,
No, that's so true.
You just won't mess with them. And that's an elephant. I always wish I was like that. People just feel like they can't mess with me, but I don't think I'm like that, because people mess with me. So I always say an elephant. It's it's got it doesn't fear anyone or anything, and even if you drive past it in the wild, it will carry on to eat, because it knows that
you can't do anything.
What can you really do to it? So it's always an elephant, yeah.
And your favorite color and why?
Purple. Has always been my favorite color. I don't dress purple, but my bedding will be purple. My pillowcases will be purple in my lounge.
Why purple?
It's always just, I think, brought so much brightness. I feel like no matter if you're in a setting and it's purple, and if you look at many company logos now, they try to add some purple. I feel like even at weddings, when people want to do mood lights, they add purple or lilac, or I feel like it just adds so much brightness or so much life into anything. I've always thought that about purple.
Oh, yeah, the royal color. Okay, interesting. What are you reading currently?
I don't even want to lie. I don't read.
You don't read?
Yes.
You don't like reading?
I don't even know where I got it from, but I will not blame my parents on this one. They took me to different libraries. They're like, maybe the sunshine is not shining properly. Let's try this one. Maybe she doesn't like the environment. Maybe it's too noisy. They took me around libraries. I just did not catch on that one. And I thought I was going to fail literature. Strangely, my only A star at O level is in literature. So I I'm not a good reader, but I'm a good listener. And so I'm into storytelling. So you can read your book and tell me about the book, and I can repeat it.
Okay.
I can repeat it the way you said it to someone else. So I would rather prefer the audiobook, or I'd rather watch the movie for those books that have movies. But to sit and read, because I get bored easily. I'm a busy body. I get bored very easily, so I don't see and I've tried buying books, and I think, I'm going to read, I'm going to finish this book.
And you don't finish.
I don't finish any book. People buy me books. So I've come to peace with that. So now whenever there is a documentary like Becoming Michelle Obama, people went crazy about it, and I remember you sent me the digital version. I never, but I watched it, and I was happy that
probably retain more than some people who read the book.
Who read the book. So, and if you tell me what you read, I will listen. My brain remembers what people said and how they said it. So, but the reading part.
But that's good that you've found that about you, because I think a lot of people then try and do things. They will try and read when yet they don't like reading. It's very interesting. All right, we're packing our bags and we're going somewhere. Where are we flying out to?
Ooh, Cape Town. I just will never get tired.
Cape Town.
Yes.
The vibe.
The vibe is amazing. It's the light.
Long street.
It's the beaches. The breeze. You just feel like, I'm not in Zim, I'm on holiday. It will always give you the holiday feel, no matter how many times you go to Cape Town. So it will always be at the tip of my tongue.
Wow. All right. Thank you so much for an amazing afternoon. And, like I said, that, Moments is about lessons. And today, we learned a lot. Oh my gosh, I'm like thinking of all the things that you talked about from yourself, from the food, there's a lot. So I just want, in a nutshell, just a few lessons for our viewers out there, so that we just close off today.
Okay, so this is life lessons in general, not really work related.
I think let it be anything to do with you. So if it's you, because it's you are a health professional, it can be health. If it's you, if you want to tell us about life lessons from work, you want to tell us about life lessons from your personal perspective?
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever. I want you to close us off with something that really touches you. Life lessons that really touch you, that you want to tell our viewers out there.
Okay. There is a person that once said to me, you should have done corporate finance. This was back in the day. I had no idea what corporate finance was. I had no idea what... I just said, oh, okay. And I took it as, why are you undermining what I did? And, now that I'm in the profession, the health side of things, I've realized that this is perhaps an industry I will tap out of soon. I don't see myself being in the same place in 5 years' time. But the way my brain is structured, the way God created me is to find opportunity. That's why at one stage I had a spa, I had a car wash, I had it goes to show that, and I've proven to myself over and over that if I want to run with the business, as long as I apply my mind to it, it does not matter whether I'm in logistics or I will pull through. The only thing is not to then, because you can sort of do almost anything because of the way God created your mind, you then now have to limit yourself, because you can end up with 100 things at one go. Like when I was younger, like I'm saying, I had a car wash, I had a beauty spa, I had this health thing going, I was writing in the newspaper, all at one go, doing my MBA. It was crazy. I don't wish to be back there. But, what keeps me going, in conclusion, is my superpower, or my, that thing I thank God for, is I can exist in any space. I can go into a world of lawyers and I feel like I can find a gap for them. I can go into accounting and I feel like I can find the gap for them. I always leave this wow effect. Like people like, have you asked your parents owned a business? And I'm like, never. Actually, I just listened to what you were saying to me and I took it as a customer and I thought, what would I want? And this is how you should go about it. So I've always been very passionate. I don't know what that person is called. I've noticed that about you. Like you can, whatever industry you're put in, I feel like you can thrive. But then there's no name for such people. And what if you're to start such a business? What is this? What we call then consulting? I don't know. So I am still tapping into that, and I'm so excited that there's this whole new thing that I haven't tapped into that I know exists, and I'm going there slowly. I'm scared, but so that keeps me going, knowing that I'm not limited. I don't have one strength. I've got many other, and I'm still to tap into them, and they will still excite me. Like I said, I'm easily bored, so I can start a business today and tomorrow
you stop again.
I'm bored. So what I then do, just try to put structures into it, and then hopefully it can run itself. So I don't want to shut it down. No, I want it to carry on, but then I really want to genuinely move on to the next thing.
And from that, what would you then help? How would you help someone else out there listening to you to say, you know what, this is me, this is who I am. So if you're like this, I'd advise you to be like what?
If you're like me, I would advise you to look out for mentors like Nyengeterai, my hackers. Look for, because they know more, they've lived longer, and they've done it for a longer time, so they will be able to sort of give you structure into what it is you're trying to do, because sometimes you can be very confused because you're this bubble of energy and ideas come out. Even at 12 midnight, I am oozing ideas, and you don't even know how to contain it. And, you can easily be a master of, they call it what?
A jack of all trades and a master of none.
Master of none. So this is when mentorship comes in, because mentors can give you some form of structure. Mentors can sort of give you guidance as to what you can do with and what you can do without. So if you're another me out there, find mentors, find networks, put yourself in places where you can meet other people, like-minded people. You can push each other, because sometimes being around your friends doesn't help you, because your friends, they're meant to say well done, but sometimes you don't need well done. Sometimes you need someone who will say, I don't think so. No, that's a wrong approach. Did you try this one? You need challenging. So put yourself in places where you have like-minded people, so that you can be challenged for growth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. And what a way to close out. I encourage our viewers to get into those networks, get into those circles where you get challenged, find yourself mentors so you can grow and become better. And thank you so much for watching. Please do go and subscribe to our channel, share, like. And again, I just want to thank all the viewers who've been watching. and those who've been sharing the videos. We're so excited. And for today, I just want to say thank you and have a pleasant day. Hi, everyone. You've been watching Moments with Nyengeterai. Please remember to subscribe and to turn on your notifications and to just follow me on all my social media platforms. Thank you.